Good morning, this is KD0FNR. KO6BTY and I have been studying the OG Villard papers down at the Stanford Special Collections Library. And this guy is really interesting for two main reasons for us, for lots of reasons overall. But he was actually crowdsourcing science back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And so, like, one thing he did was they looked at long delay echoes. That's where your radio signal takes longer than it should via the speed of light to echo all the way around the world and back into your receiver. These are echoes that sometimes came in half a second or a second later. And it's kind of cool. One of the oddball things he proposed was it could be a Brackenwell probe, which is an alien satellite sitting near the moon, reflecting your communications back. So that makes for an interesting story. But he was using data from ham radio operators to get information about what their long delay echoes were like, how long they took, where they were transmitting from, and then he was trying to look at the characteristics of the ionosphere and what could have caused the phenomena. He also points out it could have just been people. Some of it could have been people lying about how long it took the echo to get back. Another thing he did was worked on a project where they fired a missile out of White Sands missile range with a chemical payload to ionize the ionosphere at night. And he asked ham radio operators to try and transmit during, it was called Project Smoke Puff, when this artificial ionosphere was created. Artificial F2 layer was created, and report back their QSO information so they could see how well that worked. So this guy kept copious amounts of data. He did science crowdsourcing, and what this has really got me thinking about is data, digital asset management. The information that we get back on our ham radio calls and what to store and how to store it. And so, like, what I've been doing is I've tried out some digital QSL cards, and so you can see this. I got the idea from Thomas K4SWL. And so we've got a picture of a video of the QTH. I went ahead and superimposed, because I have the data. And so, but what this led me to last night was to think, okay, so this is QSO 6CG, and have you ever talked, or has KO6BTY ever talked to in 6CG before? And so I went over to our Datasette QSO log, and I got a lot of information out of the log, but the main thing was to get the transmit site longitude and latitude, and to specify that I wanted to look up in 6GC. And so when I scroll and when I run that SQL, because of the longitude and latitude and a Datasette plugin that's running with it, we can see that, okay, we had a total of 6 QSOs within 6GC. 4 of them were in the San Francisco area, 2 of them were out in New Mexico. And as far as were all 6 me, no, they weren't. This one is KO6BTY, and that's because when we were operating in New Mexico over at the Oregon Mountains, we were actually operating in tandem, so we were passing the Morse code key back and forth between us, and so each of us talked to them within the same minute, actually. And then out here in San Francisco, I can go ahead and take a look and see if I talk to in 6CG from different places, and yeah, I did. I talked to them twice from Maritime National Historic Park. I can get details on that as well. So once was on did I not put the right date and time? I might not. There we go, on November 4th. And another time was on January 5th of this year. And in if we go down and look at the Juan Bautista Trail site, talked to him twice from there. Once on November 6th of last year. I think that was the first day I discovered that was such a good site, propagation-wise. And once this week when I made 50 QSOs from there, just a few days ago. So anyway, just kind of thinking out loud on what kind of data we can store, how we're storing it. I'm looking into making some additions. Like, it would be really nice if I could have links to these YouTube QSLs, and looking at all that kind of thing. Oh, also, we've got this: do you generate data or do you store data? So this map was actually generated for the script that walks through our CZML map in CCMI. And we got a little label there saying what the time is. Just turn it all through